Hey everybody, this is update on the court case between the developer and the rogue real estate people that quit, left, whatever. And the developer has always said that they have breached the contract and the no compete clause. Well, today was the first day in court, and Jennifer Parr was the first witness on the stand. And I have an up-to-date report. Actually, I got it early this morning. I've been so busy trying to get WNL loaded up and ready to go. Anyway, let me read it to you real quick so I can get back to work. Jennifer Parr was a star witness in the first day of a federal trial in which Properties of the Villages is suing former sales representatives now selling against their former boss. Vice President of Sales for the Villages and the mother of TV star Megan Boone dramatically cast herself in a number of roles on the witness stand Monday in federal court in Tampa. Properties of the Villages has filed suit against former sales representatives Jason Krantz and his wife Angela, Christopher Day, Nanette Elliott, and Angie Taylor, who are now selling at KD Premier Realty. Former sales representative Cynthia Hughes settled with Properties of the Villages last week. I reported that already, I think. I'm not sure. I got so many videos going up. I'm not sure if it's been out yet or not. But anyway, I read that and showed her picture. She's already settled out of court. And in my mind was, I don't understand that, but she did. So in a friendly examination by Fox News analyst John Lauro, Parr described her family's early days in northern Michigan when they were in the hospitality business in the middle of nowhere, running a little venture known as Brownwood. She retold the familiar story of her father, H. Gary Morse, being invited down by her father, Harold Swartz. I knew Harold, talked to him several times. He's a neat old guy. In the early 1980s to consider an expansion of Orange Blossom Gardens, then home to 300 single-wide mobile homes. Morse had an idea to build a community based on one in Sun City, Arizona, and the rest is history. Parr said she has been in hospitality all of her life. It's all I've ever known, said Parr, who said she sold furniture, opened hair salons, and waited tables in the early days of the Villages. Parr said her family was intent on creating a place where people could make their retirement dreams come true. Parr's testimony became less homespun and increasingly business-oriented as she talked about the enormous transformation of the Villages for the past 35 years. She described the formation of Properties of the Villages in 2004 to unite the sales division marketing pre-owned homes and a second one selling new homes. Up until then, she said the two sales forces had been selling against one another. The first 90 minutes of Parr's testimonies were plagued with technical problems involving the sound system. I want to stop right there real quick and just say I do sympathize with Parr for that. I was an eyewitness to a young child getting killed, and I had to go testify what I saw. I mean, they weren't jumping over me. They make it short and sweet. And I was in the witness stand for maybe, 40 minutes. And it's brutal to sit there and not knowing what's coming next and to answer questions. Anyway, so I do sympathize an hour and a half in the chair. That's a little brutal. But, I mean, it's the system. The first 90 minutes of Parr's testimony were plagued with technical problems involving sound system. Judge James Moody Jr. tried to forge ahead despite Parr's malfunctioning microphone. However, Parr's faint voice drew pleas from court personnel and her own attorney begging her to speak up. After a break, the sound system was restored and Parr went on to describe the federal trademark. He said she and her family have worked hard to build into a widely recognized brand. Laurel showed a video produced by the Villages with residents extolling the pleasure of line dancing and visiting the square. The Villages represents a way of life to me. It's a brand that is trusted and known. We've really worked hard to create it, Parr said. She also described the extensive training provided to the sales staff. She staunchly described the sales staff as independent contractors and said they were not employees and not treated as employees. She said tremendous opportunities have been afforded to Chris Day and Jason Krantz, who on December 16, 2019, in a bombshell email to all their colleagues announced they were leaving Properties of the Villages to form their own real estate venture. Parr described what she was doing on that fateful Monday. He said she was at her Brownwood office when she opened the email. Hurt, surprised, really shocked, she said how she felt when read announcement. Parr says she received the email at the same time as everyone else. She decided her previous relationship with Day and Krantz as a warm one, in which she wanted to see them succeed for the benefit of the villages and their families. Several emails to Parr from Day and Krantz were read into the record to bolster her claim. She described trips the pair had won thanks to their sales efforts, taking them to Alaska and Croatia. Laurel then queued up a video that was a tribute to Parr's father. Created after he passed away in 2014, Laurel promised it would be a short clip. But after several prolonged recorded speeches by Vice President for Community Relations Gary Lester, a Vice President Marty Zuro, Judge Moody abruptly interjected. "Are you sure this is just an excerpt?" the judge asked. With that, the video was cut off and the court recessed for lunch. Now we're going to talk, I guess, about the cross-examination of Parr. See if I can get a picture here for you. Their attorney. While Laurel's questioning of his client was heavy on Schmaltz, the defendant's attorney zeroed in on facts. Right out of the gate, Jonathan Portland of Fort Lauderdale attorney specializing in competition law asked Parr if the breakaway sales representatives had portrayed themselves as still working for the villages. "Do you think they are holding themselves out as properties of the villages?" he asked. Parr looked down and quietly replied, "No." He asked pointed questions about whether the independent contractor salespeople were required to have four-door automobiles and subject to periodic vehicle inspections to make sure they were presentable to chauffeuring prospective homebuyers. "I've never heard about this," Parr said. Poland also described an incident in which Day is a person. It's not, anyway. Had boldly put his cell phone on the properties of the villages for sale sign rather than adhering to the rule that the main number be listed on signage. Pollard asked about the properties of the village's manager's removal of the sign. Removal being Mike Burney. Mike Burning went and tore the sign down, Pollard asked. Parr, in what became a routine answer, denied any knowledge of what might have transpired. She said, "I don't know." Pollard also demanded that Parr provide a dollar amount to equate to the alleged damage that Katy Premier Realty sales representatives have inflicted on the villages. She says that would be very difficult to quantify. And that looks like that's the end of the report up to now. So anyway, there's the report. That's the up-to-date. Till then, see ya.